Hi guys and gals, and welcome back to another Bork No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to why is the best time to come back to SINoALICE, and make sure to like, comment, and smash the subscribe button. Every single time you do it, it fills my heart with so much joy, and I just have to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Alright, let's get into it. So, I've done this breakdown before, but if this is your first time, we're gonna go to main story right here, and we're gonna click like a random chapter. For example, Active Hatred. We're gonna break down how these rewards go. So if you go into menu, you go into the shop, and then you go into your usage history, you know, and if you didn't, we will be getting 5 Twilight Crystals per clear depending on the completion reward, right? So for example, Active Hatred, when I completed 1-4, I got a first time clear reward, 1 Twilight Crystal. You get 3 Twilight Crystals based off of the missions, you know, 1 crystal per mission, and then you get 1 crystal for the completion reward. So that's 5 crystals right there. And technically, in the events this applies to, let's look at the Halloween event that just dropped. You technically get 10 verses, right? So each verse plus the completion reward, so that's 5 Twilight Crystals. Since there's 10 verses, you automatically get 50 Twilight Crystals, right? So we understand how that works. So technically, an event is guaranteed to give you 50 to 40 Twilight Crystals depending on the completion reward. Let's go to event explanation. Individual rewards. This has been added ever since Replicant released. Replicant release pretty much changed the game on how events work. You get these event explanation, individual, and guild rewards. Each individual reward depending on the week. So if it is a week-long event, we will get 50 Twilight Crystals. But for example, Halloween is a 2-week-long event, right? So we will get 100 Twilight Crystals from the actual festival, right? So we go 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? And that's it. And if we go to guild rewards, you actually get 200 total Twilight Crystals, and this is all based off of, you know, everyone contributing and everything, how much everyone is grinding it. So you go 50, 70, 90, 100, and then 120, 130, 140, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 200. All right, almost messed up there. Anyways, you get the point, right? So depending on how many weeks that you get, you will get, you know, either 150 Twilight Crystals or 300 Twilight Crystals based off of the event explanation, and they provide at least 2 to 3 of these a month, right? Events. You usually get 2 or 3 events per month. Some of you are wondering, how do you know that? If I go right here, expand it right here. Ever since the Replicant event started, this is you know, Replicant month, right? We get, you know, this event right here, Replicant. We got the Incarnation of Solitude, which was, I believe, a metal event. So this was, you know, metals from, or Twilight Crystals from the actual metal shop, and then, you know, 40 to 50 Twilight Crystals based off of the event clear, right? And then we also got the End to Summer Dreams event, which everyone loved. I miss Lammy so much. Pure soul, so wholesome. One of the best events in all of SINoALICE. Anyways, that was also another 50 Twilight Crystals, not even including the fact that, you know, actually it was more than 50 because there was a normal and a hard mode. And then, you know, we also got the metal exchange. So yeah, that was easily like 100 to 200 Twilight Crystals. And they also implemented, I believe, you know, the event explanation tab, which is another couple Twilight Crystals. So from these events alone, we got at least like 1,000 plus Twilight Crystals. We're not even talking about Grand Hollow, right? Because we got 3 events here that are pretty much bangers. And then even including the fact that we got a new character this month specifically. The way that I've been seeing it is they try to release a new character every month, or at least every other month. Who knows, Aladdin might either come at the end of this month or the following month. We don't know. That's not a prediction, all right? Now that we know we get 2 or 3 events, and we have the potential to, let's round it out to 800 Twilight Crystals to 1,000 Twilight Crystals just from events alone because of the event explanation tab that they added ever since Replicant started, right? Let's talk about the other things. Every single time we start a new month, we start with a conquest. And some of you guys are like, really? Yeah, even on the beginning of the game, so on the month of July, we got the Jormungandr event right off the bat, right? And then we also got another conquest event. But if we go into August, you know, we got the Fafnir event at the very beginning. At September, we got the Ogre event at the very beginning. And then this month for October, we got the Fenrir event, right? Oh my goodness. That's amazing, right? Because each conquest is technically 59 Twilight Crystals, or at least 20 to 40 Twilight Crystals right off the bat. If you complete it 20 times, if some of you don't care, just complete the normal one. That's at least 20 Twilight Crystals right off the bat for conquest, because they're making it doable as content releases in the game, right? Next thing that I want to cover, so we know we get 2 or 3 events, that's possibly 800 Twilight Crystals right there alone. We also get the Guild Boxo Grimoire, which is free SR weapons that can go to Legendary. Granted, it's not the best, but it's still decent gear, right? It's free gear. You can't complain about free gear. We also get 40 Twilight Crystals if you get an SR and return it, right? So 40 Twilight Crystals right there off the bat. Plus the Conquest event, that's at least like, you know, you're roughly averaging 100 Twilight Crystals if you complete the Conquest and the Guild Boxo Grimoire. And then you slam the Armor event. An Armor event is 40 Twilight Crystals because the completion reward is usually an armor, you know, upgrade material. So right there, even if you don't do like the full Conquest event, that's 100 Twilight Crystals, right? That's really amazing. If you're wondering, here we go, Conquest, and then at the very end of the month, Guild Boxo Grimoire and an Armor event. There's a reason why we have an Armor event at the end of the month, and that's just pretty much to get us ready for the Conquest that's going to appear at the beginning of the month. So for example, we got Fenrir. We're probably going to get a Conquest at the beginning of the month, next month, and we're probably going to be getting another Armor event, plus a Blood Gacha, because, you know, Grand Calo just ended. You gotta have a Blood Gacha after Grand Calo, right? If you're wondering, JP has a similar schedule. Let's look at it really quick. So you go to JP, you go into, you know, 2020, the month of August. They start off with a Blood Calo, right? Right here at the very bottom. And then we get they got a Conquest event. They get Conquest events like out the waz. And then they get a bunch of events in the middle, each provided, you know, this is most likely like 1,000 plus Twilight Crystals, depending on what's going on, right? Because they got the Higurashi event and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, and then they'll do like Conquest events in the middle. So that's like pretty much the way like SINo goes. So, you know, they'll do a Blood Gacha, they'll do Conquest in the beginning, and they'll do an Armor event and a bunch of events in the middle. Because you need to release an Armor event for us specifically in Global, because we don't have the armors to tackle all the different conquests, right? So, the next thing we gotta cover, of course, is the social media post, right? I believe that SINoALICE has a budget to how many Twilight Crystals they're allowed to give. So, if we're going through the month of October, we got the Werewolf event campaign. This is 100 Twilight Crystals. We found out Noya was the wolf, right? We found out Noya. We already got this. Good job, everyone. Proud of y'all. Next one. We got 100 Twilight Crystals for reaching 100 posts, right? Tales of Terror, that event, right? That's super cool that we did this. Next one, 100 Twilight Crystals for 100 days of Global. So that's 300 Twilight Crystals just from socials alone. Let's go to the month of September. Remember the month of September, right? We got 500 Twilight Crystals from Cat due to all of, you know, Seraphina, Steph, and Blasphemous Waffle. They gave us a total of 500 Twilight Crystals because of that broadcast event. I hope we get another one and we get another 500 Twilight Crystals. And then for the month of September, we also got, you know, Twilight Crystals for Space Invaders. Like, there was a campaign event that was going on for that. And then we also got Twilight Crystals for issues that were occurring within the game. So what does this tell you? I believe that each month, the SINoALICE team is allowed to give us up to 300 to 500 Twilight Crystals, depending on how the game is feeling. What is this all roundabout to? With socials, we get 300. With events, we roughly get, you know, let's say 800 Twilight Crystals per month. So that's 1,200 Twilight Crystals every single month. And the reason why that's so important is because we get step-up banners, right? And those step-up banners, they cost 1,200 to pity and SR. And not to mention, we got Daily Grimoire already here. I did a poll earlier. So, we have the potential of getting up to a couple SRs per month. And then I'm not even including the fact that we get Grand Calo every single month, right? So Grand Calo, depending on where you place, you know, you get upwards from 300 to like 1,000 crystals a month. So that's like a full rotation. You can almost pity a character depending on where you place in Grand Calo. depending on all the events and all the socials that we get like 2,000 plus Twilight Crystals. That's like absolutely amazing. And ever since Replicant, I feel like the game has always been generous with the game, because Replicant changed everything with the event explanation tab, right? That event explanation tab by itself gives us 150 to 300 Twilight Crystals that we covered earlier. And of course, you know, they added like the main story, which is, you know, 1900 crystals. I did the math on that altogether. So I just want to say, like, and every single time they add a new character, that's just even more Twilight Crystals. And you know, they have a lot of characters to catch up to. There's at least like over 5 characters that needs to be released in the game, right? Based off of JP and all the different characters that they got. Plus we got the Study Hall Paranoia style, and that's really huge because we get free max limit broken SR weapons right off there. You can, you know, they don't have the greatest stats, but the thing is it's a free weapon that can go up to legendary. It's free. Like, you don't get to complain about a free weapon. And what if they unnerf it one day? They could completely unnerf the tutorial weapons that we get, and one day maybe it'll go to the 7.1k stats. So, you know, you never know. This game's been out for what, 4 months, 3.5 months? So there's definitely room for improvement. They can definitely change the formula on the way they can add events into the game. And now that I know that we can get, you know, at least, you know, 4 to 5 multis, and then possibly 10 multis depending on your grand call results, but at least 4 to 5 multis a month. That's absolutely amazing. And no, you do not have to pull on every single banner, because you shouldn't pull for your waifu. I'm a terrible example, right? Because I pulled on this Performance Feast banner, but you know what? It helps with the event so that I can get more Halloween, you know, medals, so we can contribute to the co-op event and all that stuff, right? In the end, it all rounds out together. But I just wanted to say there's technically no better time to start playing SINo again. Also, they increased the, you know, the player rank from 150 to 180. If you go into menu, you go into the notice, you know, we get, you know, 150 to 180 right there. And they seem to increase like the player rank in 30 like rank increments. I'm not sure if we'll go to 180 to 210, but all I can say is going from 150 to 180 is really, really difficult. Like, it's 130,000 like EXP, and the purifies just don't do it justice. So if you want to grind out the game, now is technically the best time to do it. So anyways, we have plenty of things to do in SINo. We have the Halloween event. We have so many social campaign events. We're probably going to get Blood Gacha right around the corner, and another armor event next week too. And then we'll get a conquest after that. Anyways, that's it for today's video. All about Twilight Crystals. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next one.